Hello, everyone, and welcome to Exploring Awesome, where each episode we explore tips, tricks, and strategies to help you and me to live a more awesome life. I'm Hypnotist Jim Kellner, and I love learning new ways of living awesome lives. Today, I'm going to be continuing this series where I've been focusing on meditation for the Facebook group actually that I run called something about healthy living. We'll put the link down below later. And it's facebook.com/groups/healthy living, the mental game. I got it. All right. So each episode we've been talking about different kinds of meditation for that challenge in that group. And I think it's a really important thing. Today, I brought on a really good friend of mine, a colleague, and really a meditation badass. Everyone welcome Maria Bird.
Hey, hi. How's everybody doing? I've never been called a meditation badass. I've been called a badass, but not a meditation badass.
There you go. You can add that to your business card.
There you go. I love that.
Maria, I'm going to let you tell everybody a little bit about you, if you don't mind, because you've got a really long list of really wonderful credentials.
Oh, well, I started off in meditation about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago. I've been meditating and teaching meditation probably for about 10. I'm a hypnotist for about 10 years as well, and I do personal development with the people around my area.
Cool. So, and actually, if you look back, it's been a couple of years now. I had Maria on a couple of years ago to talk about this very similar topic, and it's interesting because she runs what she calls transformational hikes, right? Is that what you call them?
Yeah. Transformational hiking. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and of course,
transformational hiking has a lot to do with goal setting, but it also has meditation and other exercises to do in order to gain your goal.
That makes sense, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to talk to her the first time, because I thought it was really cool, because we had been talking and she'd said, you don't have to, sit still to meditate. And I got to tell you, one of the things that whenever I go for a walk, I try to walk every day, but I don't always do it. But I try to go for a walk 30 minutes, an hour every day. And I always want to listen to something to pass the time. I got my podcast, I've got, whatever I want to listen to. And Maria said, just take a break, and just kind of notice what's around you. And I find I do that sometimes, not all the time, but I do that sometimes. And it's a very interesting experience. Can you tell the folks at home, so to speak, about that?
Okay, well, I've been teaching meditation for roughly about 10 years. And a lot of people have a hard time sitting down with meditation because most people are very active and they don't want to take a break from their activities. And what I let people know is that there are plenty of activities out there that are meditative. Sports, for example. So you have a lot of sports figures that meditate. And the reason that they do that is because meditation is not really about it's not really about being guided to anything. It's about getting into a zone. And the way you would get into a zone is by not thinking. So you're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about the past. You're staying in the present moment. And you can stay in the present moment in movement. So when, let's say, uh, a quarterback has to pay attention to every movement that he makes. Okay, so he's got everything around him, all the players around him. He has to be able to toss the ball. He has to be able to toss the ball in a way that he knows is going to reach the goal. And the goal is being in the zone. So when you're in the zone, you have a lot of things going on, but you're not thinking about them. Because if you're thinking about them, you're not performing. You're not in the zone. But if you are in the zone, you're in the movement and you are making you're just making movements that is relevant to what is going on in the now. If I say in my head, I'm not going to be able to toss the ball if this guy's in my way, you're not going to be able to do it.
Mm.
And if you're thinking about past mistakes, you're not going to be able to do things.
Right.
But being in the now allows you to perform and get into a zone. Uh, Same way with running. So there's people who run, and there's a thing called the runner's high. Now, I know
Mhm.
you've talked about, like that feeling that you get, that little bit of a high
Yeah.
when you're in the zone.
Mhm.
And it's a matter of getting to that place. So when I teach meditation, not only do I teach about sitting down, but I also teach about movement and how you can do it and you can bring it into your everyday life. So when I would go down to work in the city, I would take the train down and I would walk across um, the 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 area, from the east side to the west side, and I would actually no, I'm sorry, from the west side to the east side,
Mhm.
and I would meditate as I was going along, and people would say, "Well, how do you meditate in New York City when it's all bustling?" Now it's a little easier because it's a little, this the
Right.
shutdown. But before, what would happen is I would start my meditation in Penn Station when the train would move in.
Yeah.
And I would consciously bring myself down to the breath, and I would expand my consciousness outwards. So there's different forms of meditation. One is narrowing your focus, and this meditation is expanding your focus. So you would start off just noticing your breath, and you're not going to allow for any judgment. You're just noticing, and you notice how you're breathing in and breathing out. And then you might notice your heartbeat as you're breathing in and out.
Mhm.
And then you would expand it out. How does your body feel while you're sitting, waiting for the movement to stop? You would notice the heaviness of your body on the seat. And then you would notice the muscles that you would use as you.
Uh-oh. It looks like we may have lost Maria. Hold on, we're going to get her back. Hold on, hold on. Maria, you dropped out there for a minute.
Oh my goodness.
You,
You
we
dropped
lost
off.
you.
And I thought I was still talking.
Oh,
Where did I leave off?
hold 1 second. I want to let everybody know real quick before we go on. You can leave us, you can drop a message down below. We actually got a message here from Heather. She says, I have a hard time meditating. I think a lot of people do. What is something I wanted to address real quick? I'll tell you where you were was just noticing where you're seated and that kind of thing. But so a
Okay.
couple of things that you touched on earlier, being able to meditate in New York City, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And I got to tell
Yeah.
you, I kind of think about something that I think about is like meditating by a stream in nature. That's no test, right?
No,
that's
no.
that's that's kind of
You know what? You can meditate doing any activity. So,
yeah,
I mean, gardening is a form of meditation. People who love to garden, when they stick their hands into the dirt and they feel
yeah.
the coolness and just being in that moment and smelling the soil as you're
Mhm.
moving the soil around, and knowing where you're going to plant things, and noticing your body in the movement and the sounds that are around you.
Mhm.
You might have birds, and other animals in the background, and just noticing how the air is hitting your body. It's all a meditation. And so when I did the meditation down in New York, it's very, very similar. So what I'm doing is noticing, but not placing any judgment on anything.
Mm.
So I would notice the muscles. So I'm seated. So I'll get back to where I was. I'm seated. I'm noticing how the heaviness of my body in the chair, and then as I lift up, the muscles that I'm using to lift up my body.
Yeah.
And when you're in a car, on a train, and you're getting up to go, out onto the train station. Well, everybody's getting up, so it's crowded.
Mhm.
It's a crowd around you, and you notice how you are bringing your body and making it small. So
Mm.
you're contracting, you're moving out, and you're using your body to move out, and the muscles that you're using, you're feeling the air that's inside of the car. And then
Yeah.
as you move out, you contract a little bit further because of the code. And then you step onto the platform, and the air is different. So in Penn Station, it's a little hotter. You'll feel the warm air. You'll feel the wind from the tunnels. And where are you feeling it? And as you move out of the door, you start to expand because the crowd disperses a bit, and you start walking towards, either a stairwell, escalator. And depending upon what you're using will depend upon the muscles that you're going to use in your body. So if you're going up the stairwell, the stairs are a little smaller. And so you're using more calf muscles, as you're going upstairs. You hear a lot of clanging. And
Yeah.
you're being small because stairwell is small. And as soon as you get to the top, you start to expand, and you're noticing the expansion. Now, if you take the escalator, you'll feel a little rhythm. It starts going up and down like that. And there are people who stand still on the escalator, and then there are other people who like to walk up the stairs of the
Sure.
escalator. And those stairs are larger, so you're using more of your thigh muscles in order to get up the stairs. And you feel where the workout that you're getting from the stairs.
Yeah.
And as you go up and you get to the top, it starts to expand because the crowd disperses.
Right.
And
Let me just.
depending upon whether or not it's winter or summer will depend upon what you're going to feel when you go into the lobby. So you might feel a fan if it's summertime, and you'll feel it. Or you might feel the heat coming from the ceiling down onto you. But you're noticing every single bit of it. You're noticing the people around you. You're noticing how your body is feeling and the air on you. And as you're moving out into, outside,
Let me
there's
just.
a difference
Let me
between.
just.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me just
Sorry.
jump in here, Marie. I think that's a really good explanation of how we can do that
Mm-hmm.
for ourselves. That kind of working on getting into the zone. And it sounds to me like if we just started by just noticing what's going on around us, right, and what's going on within us. Is
Right.
that is that accurate? I mean, that
It
that
is very
literally
accurate.
could be
When
the
you
could
start
be.
noticing, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's. I mean, that literally is like the meditation, just noticing.
It is. It is. And you'll be surprised how your body responds to certain things. So when you don't body, when you're not, focused on your body, you move a certain way. You might, hit the ground really hard, or you're walking, lopsided because you have package or whatnot. But when you notice your body and how it feels, and your body starts to balance out, and you start walking straighter, and you're noticing how your body is moving on the ground. You know, you notice the difference between like the cement and the dirt, how your body reacts to it, and therefore you're kinder to your body, and your body is kinder to you.
That's awesome. You know, I think it's interesting too. We often talk about, as hypnotists, we talk about the fact that people are actually going through life hypnotized, and we're
Mm-hmm.
actually dehypnotizing them. Because if you think about it, folks, when you're going through a something like what Maria's talking about, say you're getting on the subway, you're going to the train, whatever, and you're coming out. Um, a lot of us are just so absorbed in what's happening tomorrow, what are we gonna have for dinner, what happened last week with our spouse, and these kind of things. We don't even notice what's going on around us.
And that's true. That's true because we're so focused on what's ahead of us instead of what's going on during that moment. When you meditate like this, do this daily, or maybe 3 or 4 times a week, your your ability to listen to other people is better. Your ability to not uh, jump in or have judgment for things is better, and therefore there's less arguments. Somebody and you're totally present, and when the person knows that you're listening, it's a gift. The best gift that you can give to anybody is being present.
Hmm. Sounds awful.
And so
Um,
it is awesome because it changes everything in your relationship, whether it's business or personal. It just changes everything for the better, and
hmm.
therefore it makes you more successful in life.
And so you're definitely making stronger connections. People, I think you'll probably stand out because a lot of people are just listening to you and thinking about what they're going to say next.
Right.
And some people are good at hiding that. Some people aren't. And so if you're one of those people, and we probably all talk to those people where they're like this, as you're talking, they're like, they just almost can't wait to get their thing out. I think that must be a really interesting experience. Before we go any further, I want to just let everybody know that we do have if you have questions or comments or something, drop them in the chat. I don't always see all of them for some reason. There are some issues. But we do try to get to them. And I do want to give a shout out to this company, Restream.io. I'm using their product right now. I don't know these days if we call it an app or software or whatever we call it, but I'm using their product and it's amazing. We're broadcasting like 8 different channels right now, and it's free, totally free.
That's awesome.
Want some extra bonuses. Now, if you want to get a hold of Maria Bird, it's mariabird.com, mariabird.com. And if you'd like to join the Facebook group, as I said, so each month we do different health and wellness challenges, and then you get a little gift if you do the challenge. You get a little gift. So I would love for you to come join the group. I'm trying to find the web address for that. It's if you can go to my short link, jimkellner.info/healthy living. We had a question over here, and she says it was answered, but I want to go back to it just in case other people were listening and didn't. Oh, you're coming in. Oh, good. Sorry, I get distracted by the comments. But so Heather, who's watching and making some comments over here, she said that the focusing on her body is hard because she has constant pain.
Oh, okay.
So is that a situation where you go, well, sorry, this meditation isn't for you. You got to try a different one?
No,
Or
that's it's not true.
okay.
Noticing your body and noticing where the pain is coming from is very important when you're doing a movement. Your body knows and your body adjusts to whatever is going on. But if you are very present in your body and noticing, where you are in pain, it's very helpful.
Hmm.
Depending upon the pain, though, I mean, you I'm not sure what kind of pain it is. So I mean, if it's, like a broken bone or if it's a sprain, you're a little easier on that. If it's
Mhm.
more like arthritis or like um, I can't even think, fibromyalgia and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Yeah. Uh, well, you might want to just breathe for a little bit. You might
Mhm.
want to, a sitting meditation instead of a moving
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
I just
mean,
wonder
there's all different ways of doing meditation, and I know a lot of people have a hard time sitting, and it's the reason that we have a hard time sitting is because we're not taught how to sit.
Hmm.
We are, constantly active from the time we are babies, and even more so now. And our concentration literally has diminished. So I've been teaching meditation for 10 years now. 10 years ago, we had an attention span of 10 minutes. And now we have an attention span of 9 seconds.
Mm,
And it's
yeah.
because it literally is because of all the activities that we do. The phones do not help. But when you're on your phone, you're watching a TV, you have the
Mhm.
kids, screaming around you, you're doing work or whatever it is you're doing. Well, what do you think your brain is doing? Your brain is constantly going. It's like firing like this. And we haven't taught ourselves to shut down. And you can teach yourself to shut down. It is very easy, and you can start with movement. So, with children who are ADHD, let's say, you might want to sit and maybe have them build, with blocks,
Mm,
because you have to be focused in order to build something.
mm, yeah.
So, and it brings you down, it narrows down your focus. You're still moving, you're still moving, but you have to be able to place the block a certain way so it doesn't fall. And
Yeah.
it just narrows it down, and then eventually you can just let it go. And, coloring is another thing. I know there's a lot of adult coloring books out
Mhm.
there now,
Yeah.
and focusing on color and how you color. It takes all of that, stuff, and it narrows it down. So you can either narrow focus and you can still use movement, or you can
Hmm.
expand your focus. Either which way, it's getting to a point where you're not thinking anymore.
Hmm.
You're totally present in the moment. You have to be totally present in the moment in order to get the zone. So
That's
if you are in pain, you might want to try a sitting meditation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an active one.
yeah.
You might want a different color. You might want to maybe build something or a crochet. I mean, I've been crocheting for, ever since this COVID thing started. and
Yeah.
and you might want to use a mantra as you're crocheting, because I crochet, and every stitch that I do, I stitch this stitch with love. I
Mm,
stitch this stitch with love. I
mm.
stitch this stitch with love till it becomes nothing, but it's still moving. It's a
Wow. Yeah.
meditation.
We are, we're just about out of time. I can't believe it's already been almost 25 minutes.
Wow.
I know, right? I think I was
Wow, that went
meditating.
fast.
I know, right? You know, I tell my guests usually, I say, I want to try and keep these to 15 minutes. I think we'll get more viewers. And boy, a half an hour flies by. I can't even do it. I got to say, it's one thing I want to comment on was you talked about, we're sitting there watching TV, and you have to realize, folks, that today TV and movies, I mean, they really are made for people with short attention spans, right?
Right.
I went back and I found, if you're old enough to remember the Million Dollar Man,
Hmm.
um, Steve Austin, the Million Dollar Man, I went back, found on YouTube, I found like the very first episode, and I used to love that show as a kid, and I could only watch a few minutes, and it was dragging on unbelievably. I couldn't believe how
Wow.
slow and boring it was, because we're in this place where everything has to happen right away. And it's funny because so we have to actually distract ourselves with our phones from we don't even have the attention span for a program that was designed for people with short attention spans. That's how bad it is. I watch a
Well,
TikTok video, they're no longer than 1 minute, and I go, oh, that's boring. That's too much, too much time. So I get that. And
right,
boy, we got to slow down a little bit,
right.
don't we?
We do. And here's the thing. When you have a whole bunch of stuff going on at the same time, you don't get anything really, worth anything done.
Yeah.
And so when I teach meditation, I've been teaching meditation to businesses. And it's more, like when I go into the business, it is about stress, but it's also about productivity. So
Mhm.
if you are not able to concentrate on a project, it takes forever, for a project to get done. And that's what causes stress, because there's a certain time limit. So we have a certain time limit. We're supposed to get things done, but we're, like got a whole bunch of stuff bundled up in our brain. And
Yeah.
if we could just be able to shut some of that off and just narrow our focus into what we're doing at the task at hand, and have that attention span of 10 to 20 minutes. If you have an attention span of 20 minutes, and I'm going to tell you, if you meditate, you will get that, and you will get the attention. You'll have more time in your life,
Mm.
and you will be less stressed, because the tasks that you need to get done when they're supposed to be done will be done.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than, oh my God, like, you know, squirrel.
Yeah.
I'm focused on this squirrel. And
Yeah.
and then you're running off into, like other areas, and then you don't get what you want. Have you ever cleaned your apartment or your home, and you started off in one room, and you're cleaning up, and then all of a sudden you have something, and it belongs, say you started in the bedroom and it belongs in the living room, and then you go out into the living room and it's like, oh, and you start stuff in there and pulling different things out, and then you find something that belongs into the kitchen, and then you go into the kitchen and you start stuff over there, and you have all of these little, projects started and nothing done.
Right. Yeah, that's
Right,
me.
that's what's going on in our head.
Right. I got a lot of projects like that. Maria, it has been fantastic talking to you. We do need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I think I said everything that I was to say. Oh, my website is down. So if you want to get in touch with me, find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/wings, the number 2 SOAR. So it's Wings to Soar. Or you can email me at wings to soar, WINGS, the number 2 SOAR, the number 1.com. Anybody who emails me, I will send them something out for meditation.
Awesome.
Free meditation. And if you send me a friend request and you ask in Messenger for the free meditation, I'll send it to you there too.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Maria. So
it
again,
was great talking, Ken.
You too. mariabird.com, common spelling. And if you want to try hypnosis for free, please go over to jimkellnerhypnotist.com/free-hypnosis. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. Be well. Be awesome.